Hey there, and welcome to another edition of Corley Quarterly, sponsored by Elite Sports Medicine. Steve Layman, along with Belmont Athletic Director Scott Corley. And Scott, let's back it up real quick to the end of basketball season. Really a lot of excitement. We'll start on the men's side. And what a great finish to the season. They were playing as well as just about anybody in the country going into St. Louis. They had a dominant performance in the quarterfinals and took a great Drake team that got to the round of the 32 in the NCAA tournament, right down to essentially the final possession in that game. It was really an impressive finish in year 3 of the Valley.
Yeah, I agree. I thought we were playing some really good basketball. Casey had brought the team together, and you could see the improvement, throughout the season. And to get to St. Louis and to play a good Illinois State team and take care of business there. And then I agree with you. I thought we played well enough to beat Drake. Drake's just was a really good team. They made the plays down the stretch, and we didn't. But I do feel the program took a step forward by getting to that semifinal game, and I know the coaching staff and the returning players will learn from that and be driven by that as they prepare for the upcoming year.
What about Clark Brooks in the Belmont women's program and that run in the WBIT, from a historic comeback against Northern Arizona to a historic shooting performance against James Madison, a win over Villanova and Hinkle Fieldhouse in the WBIT Final Four, and then of course a near comeback against Minnesota in the championship. It's hard to narrow it down, but what was your favorite part about watching the Bruins on that historic run?
Well, I was just proud of them. I mean, anytime you lose in the conference championship to Murray State and you don't get your ultimate objective, you don't know how the team's going to respond, right? But for them to come out and to play together as a team, you could tell they enjoyed playing with each other. And then the Northern Arizona win was just unbelievable. I mean, no one in that building probably thought, besides themselves, that they had a chance to do that. And I think that propelled them to continue playing really, really well. The performance they did at James Madison was just unbelievable. And so I was just really proud. And really, it was fun to see our fan base. It was fun to see the players and just everybody get behind them, and to be playing basketball in April is something you don't envision. And it was a grind, but to get to that championship, and really they showed hard all the way to the end, because they didn't play as well as they wanted to in the first half, but I think got it down to 4 at one point, and really just showed their resiliency. And so just really proud of the coaching staff and the players and how they represented us.
Fruits of the labor of this season certainly paid off in that run, and what Bart has done overall in his tenure here has really set them up for success moving forward. Another successful offseason there, and just so much to really reload for him moving into next season.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, he did a great job. Not one player went in the portal. I think speaks to the job that he does with the culture, and the players enjoy playing for him. And so that's obviously a big plus when you can do that. And he just, he and his staff just really good at identifying quality players and quality people that want to be at Belmont for all the right reasons. And I think that gives you just a head start onto every season.
Moving on to the spring sports, men's golf finished 3rd in the Missouri Valley Conference, and Foster Wood, nearly the individual medalist. He finished 2nd at 8 under par.
Yeah, it was great to see. I mean, Coach DeLuca really did a good job with that team. They didn't have the best fall. I think they would admit that. And struggled at times with some consistency going into that tournament. And boy, they seemed to put it together at the right time, and really proud of their finish. And Foster just, came in, was a grad transfer, and just really bought into everything Belmont has, and just a great kid, represented us well. And I'm sure he wishes he had a couple shots back in that final round, but to be in the running for the overall individual championship was quite an accomplishment.
Men's tennis in the Horizon League, but they continue to excel. Another conference championship and a trip to the NCAA tournament, where they put up a pretty good fight. First off, you get the highest seed ever in the NCAA tournament for a Bruins tennis team, and battled Auburn tooth and nail to the end. A lot of excitement about what they've been able to continue to do.
No doubt. It's good to see, get them back into the NCAA tournament. Really, they battled some injuries, they battled some illness, and I was really proud of them. They battled hard. Had a chance to get a doubles point and just couldn't finish it off. But really proud, again, of what Jeff Ciro and those guys were able to accomplish, and getting us into the NCAA tournament is what we want all our teams to get to, because it's just such a fun experience. It's fun to watch them. at the selection show parties and things like that, and just to see all their hard work pay off with that kind of reward.
Look at softball.
That's
awesome, awesome finish to the season. Maya Johnson, what can you say about her story and then her performance in the circle for this team? But to win the first Missouri Valley Conference postseason tournament for Belmont in softball, to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in softball, and to get a first win in the NCAA tournament. Just a special season for Laura Matthews and that group.
No doubt. I mean, we'll celebrate this team forever. I mean, it's always great when you're the first to accomplish something, and this team did it. And they, led by Coach Matthews and the squad that she put around these last 5 years, it built to this. And it was really great to see. And, again, to see the reaction, to see the excitement, to see them celebrate when they found out where they were going to play. Those things are memories that I know as an administrator we treasure, and I know Coach Matthews and those players will treasure forever. And Maya was just, she's been an incredible ambassador for Belmont on the field and off the field, and just such a dominant performance throughout the season. I mean, just dominant, the way she led the NCAA in so many statistical categories. I'm glad she was able to get us to that tournament because, I know as a competitor, that's what she ultimately wanted, not the individual stuff, but the team success.
Scott, we celebrate what they did on the diamond, of course, but to me, part of this story is the Belmont mission really paying off. And this program that has been close over the last few years continues to grow together and gets to the promised land ultimately. All those things come together. That's what Belmont Athletics and the mission is all about, right?
Well, it certainly takes a village, as they say, to have success. And it is. It's everybody pulling together. I'm really proud of our coaches during this turbulent time that they continue to focus on the right things. And that's the players, and that's the student-athlete experience. To see all the wonderful things that are going on at Belmont in a turbulent time. And softball is a prime example. Not only did they win and represent us on the field, but they led the nation in the number of service hours. I mean, that's just incredible. And overall, our student-athletes, the amount of service hours that they pour into this community, it equates to almost 25 hours per student-athlete. And their schedules are really busy with all the academic demands, all the sport demands, and for them to take the time and effort to pour back into this community just is really a reflection of the incredible people we have that are part of this department.
Yeah, that's led the nation in all sports, by the way, not just softball, so kudos to them. When you talk about baseball, I had Dave Jarvis on the podcast back at the beginning of the season to congratulate him for going into the Hall of Fame, which is really, really exciting. And boy, did they finish strong. I think it was 8 straight down the stretch towards the end of the regular season, got themselves into the postseason, won a couple games in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. An impressive finish to the season as they continue to acquit themselves well in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you ask Dave, he would say it was an inconsistent season, tough start, but he scheduled some opponents that I think the players enjoyed playing with Kentucky, Notre Dame, but they started to find their footing. They battled injuries like a lot of baseball teams do, but they were able to work through those things. And really, they got to the tournament up in Normal, Illinois at Illinois State, and man, their bats came alive, and they just did an amazing job figuring out ways to win. I was there. I really enjoyed watching them. It was another team that seemed to really enjoy being around each other. And it's such a grind. Their season's so long. They had a road trip at UIC before, so they were literally on the road for 8-9 straight days, and that can be taxing. But to see them come together, and I think they were one of the last 4 teams standing, so that's a testament to the job that coaching staff did.
The spring season is winding down, but you still have 2 programs that are competing into June, getting set for the NCAA track and field finals. 1 guy, and then a quartet of women still competing, trying to bring home some hardware.
Yeah, it's really cool in that sport. I mean, the individuals, obviously we compete as a team in the conference championship, but the individuals, set their marks throughout the year, and it's been a really good year. I think 4 or 5 females get to represent Belmont in the regionals down in Jacksonville, Florida. And then Sam Parker, I mean, what a great story. I mean, he bested his personal record by like 23 feet in the javelin. And that was a mark good enough to get him qualified. So that was really cool to see. And And Grace Litzinger qualified in steeplechase. She's been president of our SAC for the last couple years. Just an amazing young woman, great leader on campus. Really, really excited to see her get to make it to regionals and compete one more time, and maybe more, who knows. But just all proud. Rebecca Stucker, Logan Gray on the throws side. They've been such steady performers for us. And then Brooke Garter just had an amazing race, quite honestly, at the MVC Championship, and that got her in.
It was another stellar year in the classroom as well, capped off by 62 Bruin student athletes that got the cap and gown and walked across the stage.
Yeah, it's always, ultimately, I think I tell people all the time, the two best days for me are the graduation brunch, when we get to celebrate our graduating seniors, and then when I get a championship ring, when they share a championship ring with the AD. But the graduation brunch and just celebrating a great accomplishment, a difficult accomplishment, right? Being a Division I student athlete and getting your degree from Belmont's not easy, and just really proud to celebrate them and all the work that they put into everything they do. I mean, in the classroom, you know, our department GPA was over 3.5. Again, department GPA over 3.5 for the 11th consecutive semester. It was incredible.
Scott Corley, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, Steve.
And this has been Corley Quarterly for the end of the year, sponsored by Elite Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.